If you know me, you know that my favorite fruit is watermelon. I eat it pretty much every day. Every time I go to Costco, I get at least 2 of them. So I've learned different ways to cut it. I've tried different techniques. This is the best version that I've learned and that I do every time I cut my watermelon. So let me show you how I do it. So what I do first is just get a wet, clean rag and I just wipe off the watermelon on the outside. You don't need to wash it. You can just wipe off this exterior and it will be fine. Also, when you're choosing a watermelon, usually kind of the rule of thumb is the worse it looks, the better it probably is on the inside. These little things right here are from the bees, where the bees go in because it's sweet. The more that it sits out in the sun and turns this yellow color, that also makes it sweeter. So you want to look for stuff like this because that's going to indicate its sweetness. So what you'll want to use is first a pan, like a cookie sheet, and this is just the one I use, and then I put a cutting board inside because it's going to leak everywhere and you don't want it to go all over your counter. The kind of knife that I use, this is called a utility knife. This is a porcelain one. So this is just the one I always reach for. It's even kind of old, it's chipped, but it just works the best. So something like this will be good to use. And then I always get 2 grocery sacks to put the rinds in. I don't want to like try to drip it over to the garbage can, so I just have these here and ready. And then I get 2 Ziploc bags and I set those out to put the cut up watermelon in. And I usually open them and fold them under like this because when I'm putting the watermelon in, I don't want to get it sticky all around the outside. So it's good to fold it under and then you can drop it in there and then fold it back up and it's not sticky. Okay, the first thing you want to do is just cut it right down the middle. So you just kind of find the middle line, start to just cut right through. I set one of them to the side and then I start on 1/2 and I put it down like this and then I cut this one in half. So now we have 2 halves and now I cut them in half again. So now we have these 4 quarters, and what I do next is just set 3 of them to the side. You want to get your knife and you want to cut right along that pink line. So we don't want to cut into the green, obviously that's really bitter, and we want to leave a little space below it because that's going to be bitter as well. So this is the good part, it gets more bitter as we go up. So you want to just kind of follow that light pink line all the way down with your knife. So if you look to the side, you can see that you're starting right up here and you just want to cut right down there. So it's going to be hard for you to see because you're seeing behind it. Just start there and you just want to kind of make little cuts like that and kind of sever right down. And I don't always do it all the way through on that with this one either. So we got that one and then I usually turn it and now I'm going to do this side. You can see me going just right down there. And you just kind of follow it the best you can. Obviously you can trim it some more. So that's what that's gonna look like, and I'm just gonna throw that in my grocery bag. And now we have this, and you can even see right here, it's gonna still be kind of light. I didn't quite cut it deep enough, which pretty much is every time I do this because I don't wanna cut too much out. So if you have that, now you can just trim that off too. So I'm just gonna start at the top and just kind of trim that down. So now we have that piece that no one likes. Everyone throws that away anyway. Cut that part off and then put that in your bag. And then you can kind of do it on the other side too. Sometimes I skip this one, but you can do that one as well. And now you just have a perfect little piece of watermelon that you can cut up. One trick is to make sure that you cut these chunks pretty large. The bigger they are, the more juice they're gonna hold, and it's going to taste better. If you cut them in really small pieces, the juice will seep out of those small pieces quicker and it won't be as juicy and good. So you wanna kind of make them big chunks. I'm just gonna assess and just gonna see that's pretty light pink, so I'm gonna throw that one away. I usually cut off the very end as well too, so I'll show you with these other ones more in depth, but we'll do this. Every watermelon's just a little bit different too. So this one has a little bit more of the light pink right there. I might just shave that off just a little bit. There's our chunk size. And I'm just gonna set it into the bag. So I'll get another one of these, follow the line all the way down. This is the hardest part right here, and that just takes some practice doing that. You'll get it once you keep trying. So now we got that piece we're gonna throw away. Trim it, and sometimes I even kind of go up and trim just like that. Just trim that a little bit. Really, this is a great piece to use. So those are pretty big, but that's really what you want. I just have little kids, so I'm just gonna cut mine a little bit smaller. Ultimately, you want them bigger like that. These are the best ones right there. This one smells really good. When you first cut it open, when you cut it in half, you can really tell how sweet it's gonna be, just kind of based on the smell too. Okay, I'm gonna finish these ones up and then we will get to the other half. Okay, I just cut up that half. I have this other half to do, but at this point I like to drain this because it's getting quite liquidy and I don't want it to overflow. I don't want it to spill all over my counter, so I'm just gonna go pour some of this in the sink and then be right back. Okay, so just like before, we're gonna get this other half. Cut this one in half. Usually this big of a watermelon takes up about 2-gallon Ziploc bags. That's also with me eating about half of it. Depending on how much you eat while you're cutting it, depends on how many bags you'll use. If you're not eating any, probably I would say 3 bags. When they're ripe too, they're pretty easy to cut through. They're not too difficult to cut. You would think that this would be really hard and difficult to cut through, but if you have a good knife, I mean, it's not bad. Usually when I do the whole half, I like to do 2 at a time. So I'll trim down 2 and then cut them into the cubes and then do the other 2. So you can see that made about 2 bags. I've been eating quite a bit of it. I'm getting full. I'm gonna show you now a trick on how to store it. We want a juicy watermelon, but unfortunately sometimes the juices all pile at the bottom and then it really makes the watermelon like waterlogged, you know? It makes it really gross. I hate that it does this, but this is just what you do. So that is all pooling at the bottom. So every morning and night, really every morning and night that I have these in the fridge, I get my gallon bag and I just try to hold in the pieces and I drain out that liquid. And it may not seem like a lot, but if you do this every morning and night, it will keep your watermelon a lot more fresh and it won't just be all sitting in the bottom in that liquid and getting all soggy and then it's gross, then you have to throw it away. So you want to make sure you're always maintaining that and make sure you're dumping that out. Keep it fresh and dry in a sense. And that is it. Thanks so much for watching. Go ahead and subscribe, like this video if you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye!